Hi, I'm Landscaper, and this is the Wannabe Composer series. Again, drinking tea on a really hot day. Don't know why. There you go. So, quite excited today. I've got a potential Dungeons and Dragons pitch that I'm doing. So I've got this small brief here. This is to see if I get the job, get the gig. So I'm going to have a quick read through the brief that's come through, and then we'll start putting some stuff together and see where we go. I apologise in advance. My kid has just started nursery, and of course he's brought back various colds and stuff like that, so a little bit gammy. Anyway, cracking on. Right, so Dungeons and Dragons opening theme composition, opening theme music, purpose. Right, so to create an original piece of music to be used as the preamble and opening sequence of the DM's Dungeons and Dragons games. Okay. So just the beginning bit, right? The music will serve as... I'm also dyslexic as well, as you can probably tell as I'm stumbling over everything. Right, so scene setting, gather players' attention and establish a tone and immerse them in the world before the game begins. Nice, I like it. Exciting, right? Desired duration, total length 2 to 3 minutes. That's pretty good. I've set up the track behind, as you can kind of see. So they want an intro for 30 seconds, then the main theme 30 to 2 minutes, and then an outro with a loop option for the final minute. So that gives them an option if they just want to leave it hanging. So I'll try and make it almost like it sounds final but loops. See about that when we get to it. Right. So consider having musical changes aligned to key moments in the opening. So soft ambient opening, yes, okay. Slow build up in intensity, okay. Over the next section, strong thematic, that's a word I've never heard before, right? So thematic peak climax, okay. Just as the game officially begins. All right, that's gonna be tricky to get that in at the end and have it looping, but we'll see how we go. Okay, and I just want some wavs and some potential stems to use afterwards. That's fine. I don't think I need to worry about that for this, as this is just the see if we get a gig type job. So, okay. So what I've done is I've started my usual kind of setup with all of my classical instrumentation, although I'm not sure how much of this I'm actually going to need. I kind of feel like I'll probably ditch most of that stuff. A few bits, I can imagine some horns, some strings, that kind of stuff maybe, but I don't know about woodwinds, who knows, we'll see. But primarily, I've marked out here, first 30 seconds. They haven't given me what the overall theme is, or what the quest or whatever, or mission they're going to go on is, or where it's set or anything like that. It's a little bit ambiguous, which is kind of nice in a way, because it means I can just kind of pick and choose. So I'm just going to try and do some stuff, I think, dark and brooding, like they say. Okay, let's see. So I've been through Omnisphere to spare you having to sit there watch me go through loads of sounds, and I've found Foreboding, which I think sounded pretty good. Nice low rumble. I just sort of level out of that. Peak in your ear holes. So I think that's kind of what I'm gonna put that down as an undertone just to get me going. So we'll concentrate on this opening section here first. Have some tea. Why do I do it, right? You've got an idea in your head and you're like, yeah, that sounds well. Then you think, oh, maybe if I just... And then, no, because that's rubbish. I'm going to run that for the first 4 bars there, the A. But then we might have a change. What have we got? A and E's. A's and E's are quite... Also, I'm starting to think maybe that sound... bit too much resonance in my headphones. I don't know if it's the same for you, but anyway, let's chuck this in, get it started. I mean, sometimes you'll like throw everything in. Throw the kitchen sink in, and then you go, no, none of it works, chuck it all out and start again. But I think actually the paralysis of not getting started and trying something is often a problem. Just quantize these ends quickly. And I think I would like to try, have I got any? So I've got some damage set up, damage drums. Anyone who watches my channel will know that I love them. God, I can't talk and do two things at the same time, can I? Stupid boy, what am I doing? Get over there, right. But with damage, it's quite difficult to... It's quite difficult to mix the overall thing, because if you use a preset sequence, which are brilliant, they're usually exactly what you want in terms of rhythm and the way the drums are put together. However, they're not always the best. In terms of trying to mix then, afterwards, it's quite difficult to separate all the parts, and you kind of can't if you use the preset stuff. But there are bits within damage that allow you to just use the single hits, which is probably what I'm going to go for. Now, I've used these before. There's some rolling timps. I think they're timps, or they might actually be taiko drums. I mean, they're pretty good. I do like them. I mean, these are great. So these are, I don't know if you can see this, I'm not sure I put the thing in the right place. So this is Opus with East West Platinum. Just stop talking. East West Platinum. It's got a bunch of stuff that I've bought. So I've got Hollywood choirs in here. Now the choirs I definitely would like to use some of. I think that could be really useful, nice and subtle. I know I've got all the orchestral stuff from the Platinum Edition, which I think is quite old now, but is still really good, and I really like it. I'm gonna go with the taiko drums, right? Taiko drums. It's not got any rolls in it though, but I'm gonna keep those. Drum. And then I'm gonna duplicate that track. I'm gonna try and find some of those rolling timps. I think it was timps. Oh, there might have been those. Let's try this. Yeah, those, right? So, concert bass drums. Nice. Whack, 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 whack. Okay, so. Brilliant, I love it. Right, let's turn that down a little bit. So that peaking, let's just try that. Rapidly going off that change. And I feel like I want the drums to come in a little quicker than they do, unless they do actually peak at that point, which they might. If they peak here at 5 bars, that's not too bad. don't they? Peak at 4.5. So let's try. Okay, I don't dislike that, but let's take these down. I mean, I might even put in a little damage. What have I got? I mean, why try harder? We'll chuck that in quickly. That's quite a good little loop there. I'm not worried about mixing at this point, although I think some of the stuff has already been pre-mixed from a previous track. So should have a little bit of, a couple of bits on there, right. I'm now starting to think that Omnisphere isn't working like the takeout drums. Okay, you can't see my hands at the moment, but 2 octaves apart seems to be playing the same. Oh, it is, okay, so I've only really got 2 octaves worth of change. They're really changeable with the velocity, which is really nice. You can probably hear how hard I'm twatting the keys at the moment. Let's see. Well, that wasn't horrendous. I mean, you know me, that's my my go-to. Was it horrendous? No. Keep it in. Keep it in. I'm not sure where that one should go. I might try it being a little bit cheeky there. 16 triplets. Let's try it. See what it sounds like. Turn that metronome off so I can hear it. I'm going to mute the Omnisphere and let's try and give this concert hall a little bit of reverb. I think it'll probably have a built-in one, but I'm going to use Valhalla. I'm going to excuse me, I've just eaten. This is terrible behaviour, I know. What you wanted was actually a channel where you could watch composing rather than a composer sitting there belching whilst drinking tea. Let's see what this sounds like. Right. I'm just going to try and get this to about the volume where it's going to impact in. Now I set this EQ on a previous attempt, so we're going to redo that. There's me saying, oh, I won't do any mixing. Can't be trusted. I love this smart EQ. It's so good at getting you started. got a little soothe on it as well, which, to be honest, I might faff about with later, but it's pretty good at the moment. Okay, so the first bit, I want this to be cohesive with it. This I might move over here as well, to be honest. In fact, I almost certainly will move it over there. But I do want to marry these two up quickly. So what I'm going to do is put the taiko drums underneath. Put the taiko drums underneath. See if they work. I think we'll get a little bit more volume out of them, but also I'm going to just put a run them through an EQ quickly. The drums. It's got high energy. Again, I don't know if that's what they'll be interested in. It's possible I might do a few different variations before I send off. Try and get a little distinction between the top and the bottom. Kind of want, so I think I would like to duplicate that track, because what I'm thinking is these high ones, probably I might put a bit of reverb on those, so I might get a little crackle on those. I don't know if you can, you might be able to do that in the synth itself, but and actually that'll change the EQ, won't it? So let's maybe pull that right in. I'll have that pulled up a little bit more. Nice. And let's get a reverb. Yeah. Go for a. This is going to be huge, so I'm not going to use this probably. You know what? That wasn't horrendous. It's coming a little bit quicker. Oh, that's not bad. A little bit. Low cut, nice and high. Don't really want any of that low stuff coming through. Also means I could probably re-EQ this now, chop out some of that top. And lift up some of that. Want quite a lumpy sort of bottom end to that. Oh, it sounds very muffled at the moment, but let's see where the weight is. A little bit too much resonance. Okay. Oh. Okay. So let's see if that fits in with the. So I feel like that lot will happen there. As the main body breaks in, but I think I'll probably allude to it here. And then possibly one hit. Actually, you know what I might do? I might do the one hit light on the and then on the reverb. Let's see how that sounds like. You won't get much of it, but it will give you a sense of time. Oh, that's probably gonna phase if I do this, but okay, don't dislike it. Let's see if Omnisphere fits. No, it doesn't anymore. Classic. Okay, so let's faff about. If this gets boring, I shall take a pause and bring you back in when I found something that actually works. Just test a bunch of sounds. Oh gosh! No, we just know. Right, this is daft. That's going to take too long, right? I mean, what are we after? We're after kind of, well, Dungeons and Dragons, right? So don't want anything too electric or digital. I mean, that's quite nice. A little bit loud. And again, I might only use this as like the intro. Oh. I've already written it. Of course I have. Stupid boy. Get rid of that, right. So maybe we'll just drag this. Let's see what happens. And we'll bring some other elements in, perhaps, to change. Well, I'm stumbling now as I'm thinking that a solid A, you could probably get away with some other movement around there at the A, like A's and E's and things like that, but sorry, just moving my headphone cable out of the way. Again, quite foreboding this. Do I go for nondescript? Or do I just stop caring and just chuck some stuff in and see what happens? And how generic? Hard to say. Maybe. Too soft. Nope. That's not awful. This is a puzzlement. Nothing jumping out the fingers. See how I warm them up. I'm just wiping the dust off the keyboard. I haven't cleaned it here for ages. No one cares. Right. Come on, let's have a listen. Someone will come to me in a minute. Started in the right place. Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's see if we get any. That'll be good. Gosh. Could you be more out of time? Almost certainly. Okay. Pretty good. I'm not going to mess with the velocity for now. Usually I do with basses, I keep them fairly consistent, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, and then I think maybe we will do something. Like that, perhaps? Yeah, maybe. Table, I forgot to go up. But I kind of want more solid droney sounds at the moment. Don't think I want any woodwinds in here. I feel like I want synths, you know. But I want to keep some of these for certain elements. But anyway, yeah, let's try that again. Bit was obviously dog poop, but I quite like the twisty bit. Technical term, of course, look it up in your music manuals. Twisty. That's why we need to go a good friend quantize. Take two. So we're gonna maybe back to A okay. Perhaps it was in the right place, that would help. Change the velocity of that a little bit. Okay, starting to build a bit of a structure now. Let's see if that actually works from there, and then I'm going to take a break. Come back with some fresh ears in 10-15 minutes, see if I'm actually onto anything or whether I need to start again. I think I could be. Alright, let's pause there, have a cup of tea, and come back. I'll see you in a bit.